My family has definitely evolved. I was born into a super traditional mom and dad household. Then when I was 5, my dad came out of the closet and came to truth and terms with his sexuality. So then it was split into 2, and I lived with my dad mainly growing up. He ran things very strict. I had pretty clear expectations. Grades were super important. When I was 16, I found out that I was pregnant. I went from literally being like a high school, well-performing student with a ton of friends and an athlete to a mom overnight. So I was with my dad until my daughter was 2. By that time I had gotten a full-time job. My daughter was like in daycare. I was kind of just doing the single mom thing. I obviously still like was connected with social media and friends and stuff, and one of my old middle school, high school peers reached out to me. And within like, I don't know, a month or 2, I had moved in with him. And it was kind of at that point where like he saw me working full time and was like, you know, why don't you cut back? Like, I've got you guys. Focus on being a mom. I really stepped into kind of like what I always maybe dreamed about as like a little girl. I can just focus on raising my daughter and like say taking her to like, you know, the library and mommy and me stuff. And it was things that like I never really initially got to do because I was just surviving with her. So then we just went on to become our little happy little family. I had my second daughter. We ended up getting married. I got pregnant again. Ultimately, I lost the baby. But that morning we woke up like a traditional like married couple. He went to work, got off work early, came home, and I told him that I had miscarried. And he told me that he wanted a divorce. I was like, had never probably felt so like emotionally abandoned. He was my relief from struggle. It was so dark, and I would just lay in bed for days. My ex and his lawyer were like, okay, you can live here until this date. Come this date, like you need to be out of the home. I was working full-time, but for $17 an hour. I couldn't find anywhere to live because I didn't make enough money. I needed help. I reached out to my aunt, my mom's sister. She had referred people to Fellowship. So the next day, I reached out to Fellowship. They called me within 24 hours, and sure enough, I was in. The first time in the Fellowship housing program, it was just a lot to process initially, but I was thankful at that first year mark. I was like, I almost like don't feel like I should finish out the program because I feel like I'm just taking away a spot from a woman who would really be in need of this. Meanwhile, I was literally that woman, but I didn't really see it, and I left. Before I know it, I'm like 2 months behind on rent, and I have a $1,800 ComEd bill, and I'm like, well, what do I do? I was so disappointed in myself. I already was in Fellowship, so I was like, okay, like that, I don't even think I can like reach out to them. But what's the worst Fellowship could say? Like the worst thing they could tell me is no. I'm so desperate and so hopeless right now that at this point I will do anything you guys require of me, because all that I know is I cannot ever feel like this ever again. They could tell she's ready. And I was. I came in just like thankful and like receptive and ready to hear hard truths and be honest with myself about like what the reality was, because even though I knew that was going to be difficult, I knew that was the only way I was ever going to actually be able to improve my future. Through this, my second chance with fellowship, I was actually provided with the mental health support and resources that allowed me to get diagnosed with ADHD, which unknowingly was ultimately probably the root cause of a lot of the instability in my life. Me being diagnosed and getting the care and the support is literally breaking my family's like generational cycle. I think my daughters, once we were back in fellowship, they knew that we were gonna be okay. We were gonna be okay. My dream for my daughters would be that they find belief in themselves and like never have to doubt what they're worth. It's like I have my own little patch of dirt that is my life, and I always struggled to maintain it. I was always able to grow something, but it seemed like over and over again, storms would come and destroy it. Fellowship housing provided me with the seeds, tools, and good fertilized soil. So I planted the seeds and did the hard work of keeping it up, and this amazing garden grew.